A manga about fat shaming? Let's check it out. Welcome back to my channel, guys. On my search of finding some news, I actually fell into seeing a Twitter thread about this new manga, and I decided to actually read it because it's about fat shaming, but it's also about bullying. And a lot of people on Twitter were giving their opinion about how they don't like the protagonist to be a fat boy typically, and it's hard for them to respect that. I I understood what they were coming from, to be honest, but at the same time, there's so much manga nowadays that's coming out that are pretty good where it has a heavy set character. Now, granted, a lot of the story revolves around him being a heavy character. But the best manga and series that I would say that has a heavy character that people enjoy and love is Azel World. Azel World is probably one of the best mangas and anime series that I've read and seen. You guys can check that out. I have some volumes already in my collection, but I'm collecting more of it because it's a beautiful story. It's great. It has action and it has basically everything you would want. This one is more of a love story and drama, and I really have enjoyed it, the first chapter. Now, before I continue with my review on the first chapter, if you have not done so by now, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell button if you guys don't mind, and you'll be notified when I go live and upload videos. There is a giveaway video releasing this weekend, and yes, this month's giveaway is manga exclusive. So everything that I'm giving away is going to be manga, which people are excited for, and I'm really excited to do that for you guys as well. So make sure you don't miss that video. Okay, the name on this one, and give me a second because it's pretty long, is Asahina Wakaba to Marumaru no Kareshi. That is definitely the Japanese name. I don't have the English name, and probably because they haven't really released one. There's only 4 episodes out there for you. Sorry, 4 chapters out there for you to read. And obviously, this video is based only purely on the first chapter. I will probably review the rest of the chapters eventually here in my channel. So make sure you check them out if you're watching this later in the year or the month. But if you're watching it as a premiere video or as the first day came out, give me a few days and I'll probably review the rest of the chapters. We follow this girl, Asahina, and Asahina essentially, it's a pretty girl. It starts with her kind of gloomy, but then she gets real happy when she sees her twin sister and her family. And they have basically a typical conversation in the table. Her dad is kind of a perv-sided person, but for the most part, mom is happy, dad is happy, everyone's happy. Now, what we do realize is that Asahina, before entering the room, says, I need to put a brave face and put a smile for them. So we know that her happiness or her smiles in these conversations is in fact fake. We don't know why until later on. The girls leave to school, and it so happens that they go to different schools. Her sister goes to a school that is 3 train stations away from where they live, and she goes to a school close to home. She ends up being at school, and what we learn from that is that she is picked on in her classroom. Is really picked by this one specific girl, and this girl is always making fun of her and picking on her because she feels like at least her comments is that she's annoyed that Asahina feels that she is all that because she's pretty and because she's smart. And I guess they have this kind of mindset of she's almighty and she doesn't want to talk to us, so they react with a bullying aspect of it. And Asahina really is just a quiet person. She's just trying to get by high school and have a good experience, right? In fact, later on in the chapter, we realize that her dreams was to really have just a typical high school experience and, have a few close friends and have a good time, right? Like anyone really would want a high school experience. Most people pretty pretty much just want that in their high school years. Anyways, she ends up being bullied, and we see that she goes to a corner of the school outside to eat most of the days because she is just not picked on, and sadly enough, we learn that that is probably her favorite spot to be in the entire day because she just has a peace of quiet and doesn't have to deal with it. In fact, while she eats the food, she even imagines that she's with her family, having a good time surrounding her. And we also learn in that scene that she doesn't want to tell her parents because she doesn't want them to worry. And I think that is fair, and I'll come back to that in a bit, but I think that's a fair way of thinking, but it's not the best way of thinking. She then overhears three boys, and these three boys are essentially they're seen like alpha dogs, right? But in reality, only two of them are. One, he is the smartest kid in the school, so much that he brings up the grade level of the entire school because of how high his scores are. The other one, he is I think the most athletic boy in the school as well. And then there's a third boy. He's a chubby boy, short boy, who is really seen as a perv by the school. But at the end of the day, she notices something about him. He's short, he's fat, he's perv, he's obnoxious, he's annoying, yet he seems to be happy, and she doesn't know why that is. They jump into another day, and this happens in very, very quickly. But essentially, the boys are talking about how the fat boy, he really likes one of the other boys, maid, because she comes in a maid uniform and brings the guy lunch, and he's just obsessed with maid uniform, right? At the end of that conversation, we see the girl who bullies people. She is annoyed. Why is he so annoying? Why is he like that? It almost feels like she's so mad that he is happy, you know. So she goes and picks on on Asahina, and Asahina by accident, and really it was really planned by these girls. She breaks something of the bully's possessions, and the bully says, "You know what? I'll forgive you with only one condition." And this is how the chapter ends. The bully tells Asahina that she needs to go and confess to this fat boy, and ask him out to be, boyfriend and girlfriend. And that's it. That's the first chapter, guys. A few things in all this. Obviously, the focus is on the heavyweight boy and this girl. Two kind of types of bullying. The boy kind of brushes it off, where the girl is really much affected by it. I think this series is going to hit a lot of topics that we as a society should hit. One, I would say, what do you do when you're bullied? You have these two spectrums: brush it off, or let it ruin your whole day. What should you do about it? I think both of those spectrums are too extreme. Now, in hindsight, it looks like the boy brushing it off is probably the best way to do it, but it does eventually build up because he's not really brushing it off as much as ignoring it. But when you ignore something, it doesn't go away. It just stays there and builds up and builds up. I'm going to assume that the manga writer is going to go in the direction where she thinks that this guy is having a great time, where in reality he is not so much. He just puts this fake self in front so that the bullies don't get the satisfaction of him being hurt, right? And then her, on the other hand, is, she just doesn't do anything about it. That obviously is not the way to go. I think another topic they're going to hit is the whole, skin deep love, I think for for sure they're gonna end up liking each other, or she's gonna end up liking him. I think he's gonna like her from the beginning, but she's gonna like him at the end, and it could be from their conversations, it could be from his personality. I don't know. It just seems like that's kind of the obvious route, as well as I think we're gonna figure out and see more of this girl who's bullying her and why she's bullying her. A lot of people that bully people are because there's unhappiness in their life, and they want that to be reflected in other people, right? It makes them feel better to see other people as unhappy as them. That is just human nature, you know. We 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 want that connection so much that sometimes we go far enough to create a connection that's not even there. So, for example, I could be being abused at home as a kid, and I have just a horrible experience at home, and yet I see all these kids happy in school with these parents. So I take out my anger on another kid to see him unhappy, and his unhappiness makes me feel better because it makes me see that, hey, I'm not the only unhappy person in this world. There's another unhappy person, and it's this kid. So I feel like we're going to see a little bit of that from her story as well. I don't think they're going to ignore the whole bully girl completely, and I hope they do, because that's going to be, it's very much important to show that aspect as well when it comes to bullying. So anyways, guys, I think it's going to be a great series. For now, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I think it deserves it that high. It's unique in itself. It's going to be a love story, and I think it's going to be a cute one. So let's see what happens in the next chapters. I will review them for you. Thank you so much for watching this with me, guys. If you have not done so by now, subscribe, comment in this video. Let me know if you like this series or not. Like and share this video as well, and that's going to help my videos get a little bit more love. Thank you for your love and support again. And guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys in the next chapter review.